My exchange year in Norway. The hardest, but maybe the best year of my life was my exchange year in Norway. Being a 19-year-old girl from South America, I went to live in the opposite side of the world. I knew very little about Norway, and even less about Norwegian language. I vividly remember the first Norwegian words that I heard. That happened in my last flight destination to Oslo. The language was so unfamiliar, but at the same time so nice. All words sounded strange and unknown, but there was a joyful melody in them. I didn't understand anything, yet I was so curious. The people in charge of picking me up from the airport spoke English. Well, everyone in Norway does. That saved me, literally. I don't know how I would have made it if I hadn't spoken English as well. At first, this helped me because that was the way I communicated. And later, thanks to my English knowledge, it was easier to learn Norwegian. This is because both are Germanic languages, so they share some basic logic and structure. I was eager to learn. Since that first drive back from the airport to Lillehammer, the town I lived in, my first words were boble, a type of car, hi, hello, and jeg snakker ikke norsk enda. I don't speak Norwegian yet. The words were pronounced in such a different way that I needed to write them down. Even people's names were hard to pronounce for me, so I had to write them down too. I made a list of people I met, and that is how I learned all the important names I needed in my new life. Since that day on, I remember carrying my small red book everywhere. There, I wrote down all the words I learned day by day. I soon learned how to say, "How do you say?" and ask for every single thing. That way, my list began to grow. Every word I learned was a gate to learn new words, so I started creating categories for them. If I asked for the day of the week, then I would ask all days of the week. If I asked for a fruit, then I would ask the name of every single fruit I could think of. Like so, I asked the name of the food at breakfast, then at lunch, and later at dinner. I learned how to say yes, no, please, and thank you. And then how to ask questions, more questions. Every question I could need or imagine of meaning. Can I have? Can you give me? Can you help me? Would you like to? What is your name? I learned like kids learn, day by day. Every day, in need of more words, more sentences, more things to ask or say. I remember going to the library and renting kids' books to study daily vocabulary. My 8-year-old host brother was my teacher. I always asked him to pronounce the words for me. I also rented audios, heard some songs, and watched movies. With time, I read my brother's newspaper, a kid's version. That way, I learned the easy and also the more complicated words such as Mjøsa, the river that crossed the city, Blåbærsyltetøy, blueberry jam, and Samfunnet, society. Then, I learned the verbs. Luckily, in Norwegian, there is no need to conjugate. I, you, he, she, it, we, you, they all use the same verb conjugation. In less than 2 weeks, I went to school. The first days was nice, but I didn't understand much. People spoke English to me. As the days went by, I wanted to practice more Norwegian, but it was still hard to make a conversation. With time and some extra Norwegian lessons in school, I understood more and more. Still, it took me through 3 months to be able to have a conversation. At the beginning of those 3 months, I was okay with not understanding everything, as I said. I was eager to learn and had a lot of energy to ask. But with time, I became a little tired. Speaking and thinking in English all day, plus trying to learn Norwegian, was a job that demanded a lot of effort. It came to a point at the middle of class periods or family meetings that my mind just shut down and I would get lost. For a while, it was frustrating. I understood people, but I couldn't answer back. I wanted to learn, but didn't have the same energy to follow up all day anymore. Some days at school, I just felt like crying. There was never any specific reason. I just had to leave the class. People were very nice to me, but I really didn't have any good Norwegian friends I could rely on. At that moment, I realized the value of the other exchange students that were with me. There was an Argentinian girl named Clara. She came to Lillehammer in January, so she had been there 8 months already when I came. She was so friendly and nice. Clara would always hear me and cheer me up when I was feeling down. She gave me such good advices and was always there for me. After this difficult time, with Clara's help, I grew stronger. I began to feel happier and enjoy every single experience. That is how I learned more about Norwegian culture and finally made really good Norwegian friends. I travel a lot and I also made more exchange students friends. My birthday was in December and I celebrated with my new Norwegian friends, asking for typical Norwegian presents. My language started to get better as a result. I enjoy the trips with my lovely host family, hiking in the mountains, sleeping at the cabin with no electricity or potable water. I enjoy sharing my time at the afternoon and eating dinner with them. Even walking with my not-so-talkative brother every day to school. I finally had a routine. That's how I got finally set and in peace with myself. I enjoyed my last months, weeks and days in Norway as much as I could. I stopped thinking so much and translating every single word, sentence or thought I wanted to say. I was not tired anymore and I began to learn new things. I even dreamed in Norwegian at some point. At the end of the year, I gave a Norwegian exam and I got a diploma for it. That's how long it took, but it was worth it at the end. All of it. That was definitely the best and the most difficult year of my life, and I miss it so often.